Welcome to Mrs. G DIY Designs. Today I will be showing you how I customize this beautiful shelf. So stay tuned. Hello, as you can see, I already started doing this shelf. So this wasn't a part of the plan. I actually bought two shelves from Amazon. It was a double pack, and I was going to do a tutorial on the second shelf, not this one, but I see a lot of people was interested in this shelf. So I saved some of it so that I can show you exactly how to do it. And it's real easy. You probably only need just a 5-minute tutorial. So this is the rhinestone sheet. Make sure that you take off the plastic off the front. Then I also am using mirror towels, and it also comes in square pieces. So for the rhinestones, I actually use a pack of 5 for this one shelf. Okay, so all you want to do is cut your rhinestones, which I already did that already. So I have my rhinestones cut. And I have 2 shelves left to do. So you guys will be able to see exactly how it's done, although it's not the full tutorial. You'll still be able to do it. So this is self-adhesive, and it has a very strong hold. When you put your rhinestones on, do not pull your rhinestones. If you pull your rhinestones, then you'll see a little gap, and you will not like the way it looks, trust me. And do not push it down until you actually get it in a position where you want it to go, because again, it is very sticky. This is the back of the rhinestone. You just take that off. Sometimes you may have a little bit of paper left over, and just pull that off also, because you don't want it to show on your project. So for this shelf, it's kind of slanted right here. You probably can't see it, but it's not it's not straight down how this leg is. It's a slant. So you can easily manipulate these rhinestones. So I'm going to actually put it in a slant, and then I'm going to maneuver it so it can go straight. Okay, I'll take that off. I don't know why I don't have my glasses on, but I'm going to make this work. I don't feel like going upstairs to get them. So, this is really, really easy. You don't have to use any extra added glue or anything. Now, sometimes on my ends, I will use glue just on the ends, like some E6000 or just from a hot glue gun. Now, when you attach this, when you connect it to the other piece, make sure that you cut off all of the extra adhesive, because if you don't, it'll look like it's a gap and your project will not look right. And make sure you put it close together. Just like that. Do not stretch your rhinestones. You probably say, oh, I only have a little piece. Let me go ahead and stretch it. I don't feel like cutting anymore. Do not do that. It will go back to its regular shape. And again, it's going to look like you just have a gap. So don't be cheap. Go ahead and add your rhinestones. Okay, so I got that done. So now I'm going to go ahead and finish doing the leg with the mirror tiles. I'm not sure if you could see it, but it's two screws right here. And it's actually screws going up and down both of these legs. Well, all four of the legs. And all I did was I just placed the mirrors on top of the screws. So once you do this, you will not be able to break it down at all. So this is self-adhesive as well. Just take the back off and make sure that you place it directly under it. Push it up a little bit to make sure that it's directly under it. That way you won't have any gaps. Now this will be a little bit harder to take off if you mess up. Sometimes I have to use my knife if I do need to take some pieces off. And do not push it down until you have it in a spot, because this is very hard to take off. The rhinestones, not as much, but this, yes. And I put these mirror tiles on all of the legs. So as you can see, the mirror tiles just actually stuck to the bottom. I did not do that. It did it on its own. And because I didn't press on it, I was able to pull it off. So now I just have this little piece left. You just want to take your mirror towel and measure it, and then just take off the pieces that you need. Measure it again before you actually tape it down. See, what I did was I actually measured it the wrong way. So I need to take off one more piece. That's why you just want to go ahead and put it up against it before you actually peel off the back, just to make sure that it is correct. There we go. So again, just take off the adhesive. Make sure that it's pushed up to the other mirror tiles. I'm about to put my head in your way so I can see. So I just pushed up on it to make sure that it connects without having any gaps. And voila, there you go. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add rhinestones to the front. Again, make sure that you take off any paper. It don't happen that often, but it does happen sometimes. Remember, make sure that it's where you want it before you push down. And this piece is not. So that's why you want to double check. Again, I should have got my glasses. Okay. So this is not as hard as it may seem to be. This is very, very easy. You know what? That's too thick. So I cut this one piece too thick. So that's why it's good to measure it. You know, make sure that everything is even, because sometimes you will cut one too short or too many rhinestones, but now I have to take that piece off because it's not even with my other piece. It's a little too big, too wide. One strip too wide. I was wondering why it wasn't right. Okay, so I'm gonna just sit that to the side. Won't get off my fingers. Okay, so this is the correct piece. And this happens to me quite often. Only because when you cutting these rhinestones, it can kind of get blurred when you cutting so many strips. Okay. There we go. Again, make sure that it's touching so that you don't have any gaps. So I just have a little piece left. Measure it. And then you just want to take your scissors and cut it. I forgot which piece it was. I think it was this one. Yep. Okay. Anyone can do this. Anyone. As you can see, that's how easy it is. Anyone can do this. There we go. Let me make sure this is correct before I put it on. Okay. So this is my last row that I have to finish. And I'm going to just cut me another strip. I'm not even going to use that because now it's going to be kind of hard for me to cut. So I'm going to just take one of the pieces that I already have and just put it on top of it so I can know the size that I need. And this is where the rhinestones can get a little blurred because they're so bright. Okay, so this is going to be my last piece. And then I'm going to finish adding the mirrored tiles. So now that's completed. Actually, I have some more rhinestones to add. So now I'm going to, wait a second. I'm going to place these rhinestones on this part right here. And it's the same thing. I pre-cut them. Make sure that you get all the way over to the edge. There we go. So this part just takes 2 pieces of rhinestone. Let me move this stuff out the way. So y'all can see a little bit better. Okay. Remember, you want to get really, really close. Do not overlap it because it won't look right. You'll be able to tell that it's overlapped. So just get it as close as possible without overlapping. Oh, and I missed one thing, one important thing. Around this sheep, all around the outer part, make sure that you cut off any excess adhesive, because if you don't, it will make your project look kind of bad. Even when you cut it to connect it, make sure that you cut off that extra adhesive. And you'll see exactly what I'm talking about if you haven't done that or if you don't do that. See, you don't see any gap at all. And you can put it as close as you want if you do not cut off the adhesive, and it'll still look like it's a gap because of that adhesive. Okay, so now I'm going to add these mirrored tiles to this part of the shelf right here. And I'm going to take that all the way down. Do not let it just fall on your project because it will stick wherever it falls. And you'll have a very hard time with taking it off. I've broken plenty of pieces trying to get it off, and I just had to use, some more. So always buy extra just in case. You want to do that anyway. You rather have enough than not enough. And then you'll have to wait a couple of days to get it. And you just want to hurry up and finish your project. And now you can't. Okay, remember, do not press down until you have it where you want it to go. Push up to connect the mirrored pieces. No gaps. Remember, no gaps. And this one has some adhesive stuck at the top. So I just folded it over. Fold it down. It can be tricky sometimes, but you'll get the hang of it. Only because you'll swear that you pushed everything close together, and then once you finish, it's not. I finished the leg, so now I just want to tell y'all about the mirrors that I got from Lowe's. Now I'm not going to actually do like a tell you everything to do as far as getting the mirrors, because I did post a video on that. So just go back and look at that video, and I will post it down in the description box. Now when you do measure this for your mirrors, you have to be careful, because let me make sure that you can see it completely. Okay, so this measures 19 inches perfectly. From here to here is 19 inches. Now, you do not want to get a mirror that's 19 inches. Why? Because it's going to be too tight of a fit with these bars right here, and it will not fit at all. So then you'll be mad. So what you want to do is you just want to take it down just a little bit to make sure that it fits. So I'm just going to go up one notch to 18 and 7/8. 18 and 7/8. So it measures 19, but you want to get 18 and 7/8. Now, if it didn't have these two sidebars, then we could do 19. But because it has these sidebars, it'll be too tight and it won't even go in at all. Okay, so now that I've gotten that out the way, oh, and Lowe's don't always cut your mirror perfect. For example, they cut this mirror wrong. So this is how the 18, let me pull it back a little bit more. There we go. So this is how the 18 and 7/8 fit. You see that? It's actually perfect. It's perfect. So this mirror was supposed to fit this whole shelf right here. But Lowe's cut it wrong and I did not take my tape measure. So when they cut your mirror, make sure that you take your tape measure. It's going to be a little awkward at first, but make sure you take your tape measure, and after they cut your mirror, measure it. Just say, I just want to measure it to make sure that it's correct, so that way I don't have to bring it back. And they'll understand that. And if you don't take your tape measure or forget and they cut it wrong, like they did my piece, you can always take it back. Make sure you take your receipt and they will just recut it. They will tell you, we don't guarantee a perfect cut. That's understandable. But when you off by half an inch, a whole inch, that's not just a mistake. You literally cut the wrong measurement. So they're off a lot on here. So I'm just going to have to compensate. I could take it back to the store, but I don't feel like it. So what I'm going to do is, and you will run across this, but again, just take it back or just take your tape measure. That way you won't have no room for errors. So what I did was, just to compensate, took some mirror towels and I'm just going to add it to the back to compensate for what they didn't cut. And then I'm going to also add towels to the front, just like that. Now, this does not always work because sometimes they might just cut it too much, or that might just be the design that you're going for. So again, to avoid that, just make sure that you take your tape measure. And if they give you any problems, just ask to speak to a supervisor. That's all. Because the first thing that they're going to say is, well, we don't guarantee a perfect cut. I don't expect a perfect cut, but when you off an inch, come on now. Y'all just have to fix it. You have to fix it. So luckily I have these pieces that I can use, and everyone probably don't have something that, they could compensate for that mistake. So that's why you just want to take your tape measure. And I've even given them the wrong measurements sometimes. And I'll just say, excuse me, but they cut the wrong measurement. And they'll just recut it at no extra charge. Just make sure that you take your receipt. I've never had my receipt, but they always ask for it, but I'll tell them I don't have it. And they'll still go ahead and, and cut it for me. So before I put the mirror tiles right here, I'm going to glue down this mirror. And this is the glue that I'm going to use. This is Gorilla Glue. And I have this caulk gun. I think it's another glue that you can use too. This is the first time that I use this one. I usually use a different one. It's called P something. I can't really remember the name of it. Just whenever you do go to the store, make sure that it says that it's for mirrors. I actually should have put this piece on, but it comes out too slow. Let me just grab something to spread this out because you definitely want to spread it out. 1 second. Okay, so I usually use like a old card or something, but I just got this. No one in here has an Xbox, so I'm not even sure where this came from. And I know it's old. This is the first thing that I grabbed. So you just want to spread your glue out. Just go around the edges a little bit. And this is why I don't like this little piece, because enough doesn't come out. It takes forever. So I just take this piece off. Be careful not to scratch up your shelf. It doesn't matter about the bottom, but the sides. There we go. I'm not going to push it down yet, not until I actually put the rest of my tiles on. Like I told y'all, this is very easy. You actually see how easy it is. Anyone can do this. Sticking to my fingers. Normally you guys hear me tell you, oh, you know, y'all gonna hear a lot of noise because I have 4 boys and a husband and they all have friends, but no one is here today. Can you believe it? I'm in the house all by myself. I would pull out the wine, but it's kind of too early for that. It's about 2 o'clock. Okay. So I have that done, and you just want to give your mirror a firm press. And give it some time to dry. And that's all we want to do. So I'm going to go ahead and put the other mirrors on, and I'll be back to show you the finished product. I thought I was finished, but I'm not. I need to add mirrors at the top. I came back and looked and realized that I forgot that part. So and I'm also going to add a little bit more rhinestone to this bottom piece. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. And I'll give y'all the measurements for all of the mirrors. So that way, if you get this same shelf off of Amazon, you don't even have to worry about taking the measurements. Okay. So with the rhinestones, let me let this down a little bit so you can see the piece that I'm talking about. Okay, so right here, I'm going to add some rhinestones right here. And I'm not going to take it all the way to the top because this rhinestone is not cheap. And you can actually see the sparkle right now. You can't really see what it looks like because I have this ring light on. So you can't really see the sparkle right now. But once I take my video for the finished product, I'll make sure that I turn the light down so you can see it sparkle. Okay, so now I'm done. Okay, so this is the finished shelf. And I'm going to give you a quick rundown of everything that I did. I thought I had my phone turned sideways so it could cover the whole screen, but I did not. Sorry about that. And I'm going to turn this light down a little bit just so that you can see the rhinestone sparkle. Okay, so here we go. So what I did was I put mirror going across here and rhinestones at the top. And I did that for every shelf, as you can see. I did that for all 4 shelves. And then on the back of each shelf, I did rhinestones going across that back and then mirror on the top. And again, I did that for every back piece. And remember this part, the top shelf. I had to compensate for the incorrect measurements. So this is the mirror tile. Here is the back of the tiles. It's kind of hard to see because of the rhinestone up against it. Okay, so for the legs, I put mirror all in the front, going all the way down to the bottom. Never mind my feet. And I also bordered all the way to the top. I have it on the sides as well, going all the way down. Now I just want to show you guys something about the sides. So right here, it looks a little bit bulky. You really can't tell when you look at it, but the camera view, you could tell a lot more. So these are actually the screws. So make sure that you screw it as tight as you can. But when you turn to the side, you see that? You can barely tell. Like you can't hardly tell at all. Okay, so let me go back over here. So again, I have mirror going down the side of the leg all the way down to the bottom on all 4 legs. I have it right here as well. And I did not, going all the way down. Now, I did not put any mirror on this part. Why? Because you can't see it. You would literally have to turn around just to see that. And I don't have any mirror on the inside either. And that's because y'all see the pillows on the floor? My husband was just over there making a mess. So that's because once you get to this spot right here, it's going to be hard to put mirrors right there. So I just opted to not add any mirrors to the inside and the back. And I actually love the way that it turned out because you can see some black in the cracks a little bit, and I actually like that. And then this last piece. This is the rhinestone that I put on the back. I did not take it all the way to the top. You see that gap? That's because when you back up, you can't even see that part. So it was pointless. You can see it from the side, but because it's black right here on the side, it really makes sense. Okay. And you can actually make this any color you want. You can spray paint it or paint it white, silver, gold, whatever color you want. Look at the sparkle. It is so beautiful. So if anyone makes this shelf, please tag me and let me know. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me turn the light up a little bit. I hope you enjoyed my video. Like, subscribe, comment, and thank you for tuning in to Mrs. G DIY Designs.